Von Allen Sports.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
What the hell? What an introduction. All right. How you guys doing? Okay, we already have a member's comment here. Let's see. Looks like it's from Jake Saunders. Jake, haven't seen you in a while. All right. In a while. Jake Saunders celebrates 6 months of membership. Tom was about to pull a Gordon Ramsay out there. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. Why do I look crooked? Okay, well, actually, we'll just wait just a second, about a minute or two, to let everybody get on. VAS Sherry is here. Welcome. Pickle Dick is here. Jalen, what's up? Jalen, I'm with you on that, man. See it twice. Mike Evans dropped. That was picked. Was him being lazy again. Brandon Burkhardt, welcome. Celtics Nation, what's up, man? Salute. Turbulent Velocity. Ozymandias. Nefertiti. Titi. Titty. You can tell I'm from the Beavis and Butthead generation, just like that. Okay. Tiffany O is here. Well, see it twice. Yeah, I may be late tonight. A little late, but I have a very good reason. And I bet you wish you only knew why. So watching Tom Brady win gets me excited. John Thomas Chavez, what's up, man? Side Tire Junk, Lord Darkside. All right, let's get this going. All right. I wrote some notes down, during the game. I've been doing that lately, because it's just fun to write with an ink pen. I was beginning to wonder if I forgot how to write. I mean, I heard they don't even teach cursive to kids anymore. I don't know if that's a real thing or a rumor or what. Very good. See it twice. Very good. Exactly. I don't know if that's true or not. Regardless, it made me think, you know what? When was the last time I actually wrote something? And I was like, do I still write in cursive? Do I still even remember how? Because I'm very good at typing, excellent typer, very fast. So I started writing stuff down, and I just forgot how fun it is to actually write something. How weird is that? So I started making notes. I started that on Sunday, actually. Actually 2 Sundays ago. Yeah. A lot of it was F. Bruce Arians. In fact, wait. Okay, hang on. Page 1, Bruce Arians. Okay. Bucs versus Lizard People. Bruce Arians, you suck. The Saints versus Titans. Terrible repping the passer call that resulted in taking away Saints interceptions and Titans. See, this was 2 weeks ago. But Bruce Arians sucks. I've managed to stick that in there. Cowboys Falcons. Bruce Arians is a fat bastard. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, here's today's game. Tonight's game. Here we go. Great opening drive for a touchdown to Chris Godwin. That is A-class stuff. See, this is why you guys come here, for analysis like that. That's brilliant, isn't it? Well, then I noticed Eli's longest scramble, he said, was in Tampa Bay. But, dude, Eli made the joke of the night, okay? It was awesome, all right? He said his longest scramble was in Tampa Bay, and they almost called a delay of game penalty on him. I actually thought that was pretty damn funny. I mean, I was so shocked by Eli's. Actually, I think Eli's become funnier than Peyton because Eli's uh, Eli's comedy and the way he delivers is harsh. It's like hardcore, and it makes you go like, "Wow, I can't believe Eli Manning just said that." So it's really interesting when he says something. It makes it extra funny. But then Peyton trolls Eli, and Daniel Jones screws up the pre-snap. Should have gotten out of that play. So Peyton trolls Eli back, since it's the Giants, and Daniel Jones was Eli's replacement. And Peyton goes, well, Brady would have checked out of that play. Eli's like, yes, screw you. Then the Giants not called for a false start. I don't know how they didn't see that, but the refs made it up on I guess, later on. But during that play, the refs called a PI. They made up for it 2 plays later. And then the Mike Evans play. The Mike Evans interception. Okay, I could have sworn I wrote that down somewhere. Hang on. I got this. Wait. Oh, there it is. I think this is my best analysis of the year, actually. I think what I wrote here is, I should turn this into Kurt Warner's show. I should turn this into Peyton and Eli should actually cover this because this is really, really good, I think. So, Mike Evans, an asshole, piece of shit. Okay, Mike Evans you suck. All right? I don't care that he scored a touchdown. This guy is mentally lazy. Mentally lazy. All right? If this guy was even had half the mind, football mind of Randy Moss or Jerry Rice or Terrell Owens, just the mind, okay? He would be in contention for one of the greatest wide receivers ever. I am not kidding. I have never seen a guy rely so much on his physical talent and ability and just be so boneheaded half the time. Half the time out there, it seems like he's lost. Think about this. The guy is never paying attention. He won't fight for balls. He's not very, I don't know. His awareness, field awareness is really, really bad. But he still manages to score touchdowns. Still manages to get in the record books for different things. And it's just, imagine what he could be if he wasn't just so mentally lazy. And it really is infuriating. They've got to change the interception thing. And I am not just talking about because it happened to Tom. I say this every week. No matter who's playing, you guys are my witness. I say this all the time. I've said it after Patrick Mahomes had it happen to him. I said it after Aaron Rodgers. So you know that I'm keeping it straight there. But these types of interceptions should not count against the quarterback. Okay? It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Like George St. Pierre once said, I am not impressed by your performance. I wasn't that impressed by the Bucs' performance tonight. I'll be honest with you. Okay? They left a lot on the field. This should have been a 40, 50, to 10 or whatever the Giants had a beat down. Okay? They had 10. This should have been a complete annihilation. This should have been a statement to the rest of the league that, hey, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the champions. The NFL still goes through us. Still, I don't get it. This was a statement game. And again, if the Giants were playing well and they were clicking on offense and defense, they were just all over the field, going crazy, looking great out there, and it was a close game, then I wouldn't say that. But the Giants were awful. The Giants suck. They absolutely suck. All right? And they couldn't get anything done. And It wasn't that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were doing anything spectacular. This is not good. Let me tell you something. If this was a better team, the opponent, you saw what happened against Washington. I'm sorry, the DC Lizard people. You saw what happened against them. This is not impressive. This was a chance to sit there and say, look, we're back, baby. This is what's up. I saw Tom Brady out there coaching, having to do every single thing. And it's just really obnoxious. Did you guys see Bruce Arians standing on the sidelines just looking at his little wristband? The dude is absolutely lost. You know what? I could get paid millions of dollars to stand my ass on the sidelines and do nothing but eat cheeseburgers during halftime and look at a little wristband. What does he do exactly? What is his function other than being a dumbass? I'm just curious. I mean, at this point, okay, him having control of the challenge flag is like Joe Biden having control of the nuclear codes. Okay? Why? Why is this happening? Like, what the hell is going on here? At this point, is Bruce Arians just there just because they can't get rid of him? Maybe he's under contract, but what is he for exactly? So all you need a head coach at this point for, I guess, based on what we're seeing, is a guy to make good decisions in game, during the game. But even on offense, Tom's the one making those. Tom's the one calling the timeouts. Tom's the one that's making these decisions. These guys are so undisciplined, it's not even funny. But yeah, I'm not that impressed. I am more impressed by the Patriots than I am the Bucs right now. My God, could you imagine if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had Sean Payton or Bill Belichick or Andy Reid or Mike Tomlin, okay? John Harbaugh. Damn, I mean, that would be the scariest thing I think we had ever seen in the history of football. That would just be insane, right? The only thing this fat bastard is good for is after a game, he will blame everybody. Well, I guess there's a reason why he blames everybody but himself, because he is irrelevant. Maybe he's being honest. Maybe that is his attribute. Hey, I'm not doing anything, so I'm a total loser. So there you go. I have nothing to do with it. Maybe that's what his deal is. Maybe that's what he does. I don't know. But yeah, I just, you guys got to remember last year they were going into the playoffs hot, and I know it's a longer season now, and there's still they've got 7 left on their schedule, because they had the bye week. But I don't know. This is a game, a primetime game everybody's watching against the Giants, the 3-6 Giants at the time, and you got to make a statement. All right. You got to do something here. So, I enjoyed Bill Parcells being on there. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I don't know if you guys were watching the Peyton and Eli broadcast, but having Bill Parcells on there was really cool. And then they ruined it with this dumbass. What's his face again? What's that dude's name? Kevin Hart. Yeah, Kevin Hart. Yeah. Okay. He's okay sometimes. It depends on what it is. It depends on if it's like a movie or something. But I'm just sick of seeing this guy everywhere all the time. His face is constantly being pushed. I don't know why. Hollywood, for some reason, pushes this guy. They want him to be everywhere. They've been pushing him for, honestly, it seems like at least 5 years, maybe longer. I know he was around a little longer than that, but they've been really pushing him, and I just don't know why we have to put up with him in sports. and they're always interviewing this guy. He's obnoxious. Doesn't know anything about football. He only started to pretend that he was an Eagles fan and know anything about football because it was good for his career. It's a lot like you'll see actors and actresses at courtside at Wimbledon or the U.S. Open, right? They don't know anything about tennis. They don't care. Their publicists got them those tickets because they thought it'd be good to be seen, seen to the common people, us peasants, I guess, is what they think of us. And that's really what he's all about. Then they brought on Condoleezza Rice, who actually knows her football. So I don't mind if they bring on a non-football person if they know what they're talking about. But Kevin Hart added nothing to the program. Condoleezza Rice definitely knows football. You could tell. And then they waited till the very end to put on Julian Edelman? I mean, there wasn't nothing left. There was no game left. Like, why? Why would you do that? Put him on at the beginning of the quarter. You gave all that time to that idiot Kevin Hart, but Julian didn't get much time, and I don't know. It was just weird. So at some point while Kevin Hart was on, I switched back over to the original broadcast. Now think about that. How bad must it have been for me to actually go to the original broadcast? Because you guys know how brutal that is, right? So it's just annoying, I think that you shouldn't bring on a guest that can't even talk about the game, doesn't even really know the game. They've got to contribute something. I mean, that's the whole point. The point of the show is to give analysis of the game as it's going. It is not a this is not Jimmy Kimmel, okay? So what is this? I mean, why do that? It's just, and hell, honestly, you want to leave Parcells on there for a quarter and a half? That's fine with me too. So I'll take that. Give Julian the whole second half. That's fine too. Anyway, now I know some current players or active players now. There's this thing going around called the Peyton Eli curse, and it's that for all the shows up until 2 weeks ago, because they stopped booking. They haven't booked an active player right since this kind of got around, I guess. But every player, active player that they had on lost the following week. Their team lost the following week. So go back and look. It's every time. It's really, really cool. So it's just it's coincidence, of course, but hey, for the last 2 weeks, they haven't booked anybody current, so I don't know what the deal is with that. So I guess as long as they're booking non-current players, the curse can't be effective, can it? Unless the curse is by proxy. So Edelman was a Patriot. What if the Patriots lose because of Edelman? You see? And if Bill Parcells was known as the Giants, mainly as the Giants head coach. So if the Giants lose, I don't know, I don't even know who they're playing next week. Who cares? But anyway, it's interesting. See here. The Bucs would be better without a head coach at all, so nothing and anything would be better than BA. True. See it twice. Giants lose by proximity to sucking. So you cannot watch them then? What the fuck is Jalen's problem? We did turn away Jalen. And yeah, and you can do that too. You can not watch as well. I can tell you this right now. You can turn away right now, actually. Go find another fucking channel that gives you as much face time as I do, dude. I know what he's talking about. He doesn't have to be a dickhead either. Make sure you know who you're talking to next time, buddy. I don't care. This is my channel. You're allowed to complain. I'm allowed to complain. All right? So I don't care. Maybe you want to suck Kevin Hart's dick, but I don't like him. All right? He's annoying. Ry Davis says, hi, I was happy with the Bucs today, but sometimes Evans still carries ball in one hand away from his body, which is a bad. I know. And then did you see Gronk tonight? The drop? Looked away. Watch. He jumps in the air. He looks away. He looks the other direction. I don't understand why these guys do this. It's crazy. I mean, I guess in that particular situation, Gronk is, he's worried about his ribs, okay? And, when he goes up for a pass in that particular place, probably it's in his head, is someone coming at me? And I guess that I could probably understand that. But this just it happens with across the league. These guys are always dropping balls looking the other direction. The Mike Evans drop, or the tip, whatever you want to call it. Peyton, if you watch Peyton's broadcast, Peyton tried to ease it out there on Mike and then try to say that play, you don't see it happen very often where Tom was maybe going to, I think Johnson was out there with him. And no, it doesn't matter. Mike was looking right there at that direction. It came right to him. That's a simple catch, simple throw. It's very basic. So that's, there you go. So I wish they'd stop doing that. Which one? What? Oh yeah, but I was particularly one that caused Tom to have an interception, and like I said, the Gronk one didn't end in an interception. It was just a busted play. It could have been a good play, but again, I think that was a rib concern because Gronk doesn't do that. Gronk normally doesn't do that. But if you notice that after Evans caused the interception, as soon as the Bucs got the ball back, Tom went right back to Gronk over and over and over again, and then he finally went back to Evans on that drive, only out of desperation. So the pocket was collapsing. Tom didn't have much to do or go with the ball. He saw Evans hit him right there. It was a nothing gain. So, but Tom was definitely punishing him, and I've noticed that Tom's been doing that. He's at least been doing it for several years now. I remember specifically in 2019 he was doing that. So when one of the receivers would do something boneheaded or stupid, instead of just yelling at them or coming at them, although he did do that too, but when they would drop it or run the wrong route, he would punish them by not even looking in their direction, not even targeting them for several plays in a row, maybe even a drive, or maybe even a few drives in a row. So he definitely did that to Mike for a brief moment. So. Oh, I'm sorry, Jalen. Were you on the committee that made the Peyton Eli show? Peyton and Eli's show is for football people who want a. Do you think the average fan wants to sit there and hear about complex plays and what the quarterback is going to do? No, no. That's for people like us. Okay, I don't. Apparently, you don't get the point. That's the exact opposite. The Peyton and Eli show is specifically for people who want a deeper view of football, who want more of the complexity of it. That's the whole idea. Okay? So, I don't know. You're just being a fucking asshole tonight. Whatever. You're just arguing to be arguing like you always do. Yeah, apparently Jalen knows everything. That's why. I mean, dude, why not? You seem to know everything, right? So, sure, it could get average fans, I guess. Who gives a shit? They designed it, but here's what's happening. On YouTube, a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of former quarterbacks have been building their channel on quarterback breakdown. All right, it started getting popular several years ago, and then Peyton did the idea of a show called Detail. Detail is exactly this. Detail is taking a game, and then Peyton would go over it, talking about the X's and O's of the game, the complexity of the game. All right. Then they got the idea because Monday Night Football ratings, they weren't getting the same kind of attention as Sunday Night Football was getting, and even some of the Fox Game of the Weeks. Usually the NFC, the big NFC matchups, but they started doing that. And that's kind of their answer to this growing trend of people wanting, exact football analysis. And let's not kid ourselves. The Monday Night Football group, the regular group of the broadcast, they're not very good. They're not very entertaining. So that's it,
Entertaining doesn't mean going completely off. People are focusing on the game now. You want to hear more.
Well, I just don't see why they have guys like Kevin Hart on there. That's all. I just don't get it. He's always everywhere. He's always on these sports shows, and he's just talking nonsense, and it's just.
They think they're gonna bring in more viewers, maybe, but
nobody tuned in tonight. Oh, Kevin Hart is going to be on Peyton and Eli. I think I'm going to sit through and watch that. Nobody made that decision. All it is to promote Kevin Hart. His publicist got him on there. That's all it is. Nobody cares about Kevin Hart's opinion, especially in the football world. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just sick of this guy being everywhere all the time. You mean like for a comedy bit or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's different. But if I got to sit through a whole fucking quarter of this shit, yeah, exactly, during the game, that's a bit different. So. Yeah, Phil. Well, Phil Williamson just said Brady just called Mike Evans awesome and a great leader. That's Tom, right? So he's gonna say that about everybody, right? That's just what he does. That's why he is a great leader. So. Okay, whatever. Enough about the Kevin Hart thing. I'm just going to say Peyton and Eli did not book him for football reasons. He was booked by his publicist to get him on there, okay? Celebrities do this all the time. They're always getting their fucking faces all over things that they shouldn't be involved in, and it's just consistently annoying. That is all. So. Evans isn't a leader. Pickle Dick. That's exactly, that's exactly what Tom's doing. It's one of those things where you compliment a guy with something that they're not, right? So if you want to tell a guy, especially a guy has probably got a fragile, I'm sure Mike Evans has a fragile ego. You can tell. We saw him last year when he wasn't getting thrown to. He would kind of be a little bit weird about it and stuff like that. But there was a you guys remember there was a time there was like a block of games where he wasn't getting any attention, but the team was playing really well, and he didn't seem to be as into it as when he would be getting touchdowns and involved, even if they didn't play that great. So you can see that he's got some of that in him, but a guy like that, Tom doesn't want to just bull rush him and say, "Hey, what the hell's your problem?" And start yelling at him. You want to deal with a guy like that in a subtle manner, not you don't want to be too aggressive. And we've seen Tom do that. We've seen Tom do that with other guys, where you compliment them, you say good things about them. They know if they screwed up or not. Okay, so Mike knows if he screwed up. He knows if he's a good leader or not. He knows if he's lacking in leadership or not. So if Tom says that, then it's a self-analysis. Then Mike goes, Tom thinks I'm a good leader. I better live up to that. So now that Tom has put it out there and put Mike on the spot as saying Mike is a good leader, now Mike has to become that, or he doesn't. If he doesn't, well, that's a problem, right? So, and he looks bad. It's wouldn't call it, it's not really reverse psychology, but it's similar, you know? So, but it works. It does work. And I've seen Tom do that many times to different people. So, yeah, I didn't want to say that. Yeah. Yeah, but we all know it's not true. So we know that he's not a leader. So there you go. Yeah, Salmon, that's true. We don't know him. Okay, we don't know him personally. We only know we can only judge what we see and what we think we see most of the time. And usually it's pretty clear. I mean, I just and notice I didn't go too far. I'm not saying that he's completely selfish or completely like that or whatever. I just said that he had those tendencies sometimes, and would see it creep up a bit. He's nothing like a lot of the diva wide receivers that we've seen in this league. Okay, he's no Michael Thomas, and you know the way a lot of these guys would act, and if you remember Deshaun Jackson and people like that, it's just he's not like that. I'm not saying that. So I'm just saying that he had that kind of tendency, and I wonder, you know, if he could handle Tom actually really coming at him hard. And it's a good tactic. It's a good way to kind of tell these guys, you know, hey, this is what we need from you. And it's really clever, actually. I've seen Belichick do it, actually, to a lot of players. But again, this is all assuming that Tom didn't say this to him in real life. So we don't know what he said to him in real life. So you're right about that. So I don't think he's a diva, wide receiver diva, as what we know that term to be. He's not that. Definitely not that. But he has diva tendencies sometimes. Sometimes he does. So I would say that I bet Tom is probably more careful with him. Now with Gronk, I bet Tom tells Gronk straight up. You know? And I actually, Edelman had said that once. Edelman said that Tom is very upfront and honest with him, with Gronk. I think he mentioned James White. Said James White can take heavy, hard coaching from Tom. There's just some guys, and then he said, but there's a lot of guys that Tom doesn't go after exactly, really heavy. So, yeah, Celtics, yeah, absolutely. Oh, damn. See it twice ahead of me already. Yes, so Brady Hates Saga episodes, working on them last night. In fact, I was working on it last night, and I barely paid any attention to the Steelers game until the very end. So, but that game was, every time I looked up, it was kind of lame. But yeah, so Brady Hate episodes, Basement Butthurt. I'm going ahead and do one on a guy named Barry McCockiner for a Basement Butthurt. And the reason I decided to do that is normally I didn't want to give someone that kind of attention, but this guy ducked all offers and all challenges to debate. But mainly I ignored him because I thought he was doing it just for fun. I thought he was just pretending, you know. And if you get with someone like that, there's really no point in kind of challenging them, I guess, or going after them too hard if they're not serious. It's why I don't go after Rob Parker too much anymore, because he's just an idiot. And I tend to go after people that I know better, like Chris Sims and Max Kellerman, people like that. But I found out that this guy's actually a Packers fan, and he is absolutely serious. He is absolutely serious in his you know, I guess you want to call it analysis of how he feels about Tom. And this guy needs to be properly destroyed. If he won't debate me, I guess I'll just have to do a video. So I think he'd be a good subject matter for Basement Butthurt. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and do Deflategate. So I've got big plans for Deflategate. You guys are going to like this. I found some people I'm going to interview. That is going to be very interesting. It's going to give it a lot of credibility and a lot of good explanations of what really went down and how it went down. Irrefutable evidence that shows just how stupid it was. I know everyone here agrees that Deflategate was stupid. Other than Jalen, I'm sure Jalen will say, Deflategate was real. I was there at the NFL headquarters. That was their intention the whole time. The balls were below, and Tom even stuck them himself with an ink pen inside the little bubble. But other than that, I know you guys already know the story of Deflategate, but there are a lot of people out there who don't know it, okay? A lot of people out there who either don't know it or think they know it and need to be educated in it. And so as stupid as it is, and honestly, the reason I put it off for so long is because it didn't seem it just seemed to be covered pretty well for a while, but it's crept back into the minds of everybody. So ever since Tom won this 7th Super Bowl, Deflategate seems to be making its rounds again. And yeah, there's a whole new generation of kids who basically think that that's the deal, especially if they're a fan of certain teams with quarterbacks that people are always talking about in parallel to Tom. So yeah. It'll work. Phil, I thought he was joking the whole time. Yeah, I had him pegged as a troll too until I found out he's actually serious. So, but it doesn't matter. It gives me a video. It gives me video content. It gives me something to do. If you search the internet looking for like stupid things, a lot of it is just people, they're just not very smart people. I mean, they're just dumbasses who are just making a video on their iPhone real quick and saying, "Oh, it's rigged," and then blah blah, and all this stuff. But I have two subjects actually. So I've got that idiot, and then I'm doing one on the NFL. If the NFL is rigged, especially this guy who thinks Super Bowl 51 was rigged, and he thinks he's got it all figured out. He goes through all these different scenarios and each play of why they called the way they were called. And I mean, this video is, man, it's right. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect to blow up. And in, not all the Basement Butthurt videos, had big people that I was debunking. A lot of it I had to, kind of really search for. So it's not really easy to find the right subject matter because, again, you don't want to do somebody who's just got like 15 views and nobody even knows this person exists, But at the same time, it's hard to find the usual idiots, the famous idiots, because everyone's already on to what they're doing, Like we know Shannon Sharp. How many videos can we talk about Shannon Sharp, right? We know why he does that. We know he's just doing that because that's his job. He's told to do that, right? Skip likes Tom, so Shannon has to not like Tom. So we don't really know what Shannon thinks from week to week, but I think we have a pretty good idea about things he said privately and personally and in candid moments off script, off from the show Undisputed. So seems to be a bit different. So doing on people like that seemed to get monotonous and kind of pointless after a while. So got to find fresh stuff or new things. But let's see here. I think I missed the super chat. Elliot, I sent you something, man, and it got returned. The address you gave me, they said that address doesn't exist. It was the address to the naval base. Don't know what happened, but yeah, they returned it. Elliot sends a $5 super chat. He says, Tonight is what I wanted to see when they played the Giants last year. None of that last-minute drama. That's true. And I'm sure Tom wanted to beat them. And I'm sure he would have loved to put 45 up on him, which should have happened, by the way. Thank you, Elliot, so much. I appreciate it. See It Twice. By the way, guys, See It Twice has a new Facebook group. It's for movie fans. So if you like movies, you like talking about movies, and you're on Facebook, join his group. It's really cool. He says a $5 super chat and says, I don't just joke, I name things. The tinfoil, everything's rigged crowd needs one. The Illuminati. I love that. That's good. That's really good. I'm going to use that. Thank you, See It Twice. That's real good. Excellent. Tiffany's asking me, how is Super Bowl 51 rigged? The Falcons did what the Falcons do. So he's got this idea that he talks about the whole game, but the biggest part is the sequence when right after Matt Ryan throws that first down pass to Julio Jones, the very famous sideline catch that was totally awesome, right? And so he's talking about the sequence of events that happens that directly leads to the Patriots getting the ball back instead of the Falcons kicking a field goal, which if they made the field goal, presumably if they made the field goal, would have basically made the game very, very difficult to win, because then the Patriots would need an onside kick recovery. So he's talking about that sequence of events. Well, he talks about how the decision-making was to purposely throw the game. And in this decision-making, he doesn't understand if you look at it. It's the Pete Carroll thing all over again, but way worse, okay? I can explain Pete Carroll's decision to throw in that situation. It can be explained away in a football way, but it doesn't mean it was a good decision, okay? It was a dumb decision. I understand that Pete Carroll was trying to get extra plays, but it's too risky to put the ball in the air in that situation when you've got such a great running back and stuff like that. And I know that, the statistics say that Marshawn Lynch was struggling, on those one-down conversions, but blah, blah, blah. It's a Super Bowl. And I don't think Pete Carroll was thinking of that anyway when they made that decision. And I think it was Bevel anyway who ultimately was in the thinking process there. But anyway, let's not get off track here. But with the Falcons, a lot of football fans, especially when a team loses and their team loses, they don't understand sequence of events and how sequence of events happen and the chain of causality. So one thing leads to the next, leads to the next. They see it as a whole entire plan. They see it as like first down and decisions on third and fourth down are the exact same. They think that if you want to do something on third down, but it's first down, that no matter what the outcome of first down, you're still going to do that play on third down. Well, it doesn't work like that. What happens on first down decides what happens on second and what happens on third and so on. And then you can say, okay, I either can go with what I wanted to do or I can't. Now, that was the Falcons situation. The Falcons did try to run the ball on first down. They did. And it wasn't a successful play. They also were not in great position. They were in field goal range, but they weren't in excellent field goal range. You also have to keep in mind, not only were they in the lead at this time, they were in the lead by 8 points. So the Patriots still have to get us. The Falcons' thinking is, even if we don't convert on the field goal, or if we don't score a touchdown or convert on the field goal, they would have to go all the way down the field. They'd have to score a touchdown. Then they would need a 2-point conversion, and then it would only tie, and then we'd maybe get the ball back even then. So that's probably what the scenario called for. But they ran the ball anyway on first down. Second down now, now they need to do something, and they feel like they need to do something. Now, keep in mind, that is what got them to the Super Bowl. That is how they managed to be so good that whole year, was putting the ball in the air. That's what they specialized in. And it didn't work out. It backfired. And then, Matt gets sacked. He was in third down. He had to throw. While this guy was saying, oh, they should have ran it. No, you can't run it there now. It's too late. Now you've got to throw the ball. So the first play, 2 plays dictated the third play. Third play, you get sacked. And you try it again. I think there was a penalty at one point or something. I can't remember the exact sequence of events. I have them written down. But the point is, one thing led to the next. And this guy is not the only one. I found tons of videos on this particular game, just, of course, by a bunch of disgruntled fans. But funnily enough, they weren't even mostly Falcons fans. They were actually, a lot of them were just Brady haters and Patriot haters. But yeah, they think they have it all figured out, and it doesn't work like that. They also don't understand being in the moment and making these decisions, these split-second decisions, in scenarios like this, and you're trying to make the best decision for everybody, especially when you're an offensive coordinator. You're trying to make sure that it doesn't go badly, but you get some points, but you don't turn the ball over. You don't, you don't want any of those things to happen. And then Matt Ryan's got to execute that, and then everybody's got to do that to execute correctly. But these people sit back and act like it's all choreographed, like this is the WWE. And that's one thing I don't believe in, And they make these arguments, the NFL once argued in court that they were entertainment industry. Yes, they did that because that was the language of the contract that saved them from getting sued. I think any one of us would use that language if it meant not getting sued, if you can get by with it. And anybody's got a problem with that, they need to talk to John F. Kennedy. So doesn't mean it's scripted or rigged. Like I've said before, you can't do anything about a rogue ref. You can't do anything about a coach or even a quarterback or another player doing something, taking it upon themselves to do something shady like that. You can't stop that if they do it, right? But for the NFL as a entity to plan their games, to get caught, would be oh my God, it would completely destroy football. And there's no reward there. I mean, there's no point. Football as it is so, the outcome is so random, and there are so many times where the matchups are just garbage, and nobody would want these things, nobody would want the outcomes, and it's just, but fans are always going to think of something that thinks it's set up. But no, it would be too risky for the NFL itself to do that. But anyway, to get back to the point here. People act like the Falcons were just sitting there and just deciding, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And as if there's not a Patriots team across the line from them. As if there's not a Patriots team on the field. That's what I don't get. It's this whole, you guys know the old, did the Patriots win it or did the Falcons lose it? How do you lose it? How is it the Falcons lost it? Isn't there another team that is imposing their will, causing these things to happen? Isn't there another team that stuffed their running back and he didn't barely even made any gain on first down? Isn't there a Patriots team that got to Matt Ryan and sacked him? I don't see how that's the Falcons losing it. And I've never understood this at all. I really haven't. There are things there are times where a team will shoot themselves in the foot by doing stupid crap like false start penalties or, procedural penalties that shouldn't be happening. But if you're going to say that someone lost the game because of procedural penalties, then that team's got problems. But this is the small thinking of people like that. And they just can't, their brain cannot understand how someone so unassuming like Tom Brady can do what he's done and achieve what he's achieved. They don't get it. They don't understand it. Make no mistake, the fact that Tom was a 6th-round pick and virtually nobody knew him unless you followed college football closely. That still follows him. No one questioned when Peyton Manning would get an MVP. When he would have big games and stuff, nobody questioned that. No, it's Peyton Manning. He's first overall. He was supposed to do that. Let's go back to the 80s. Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls. You know that, Milena? 4 Super Bowls when I was a kid. And you know who all you ever heard about was? Dan Marino.
I know.
Dan Marino and John Elway.
And how many Super Bowls did Dan Marino win?
0. And John Elway didn't win a damn Super Bowl until I was in high school, 97 and 98. So in the 80s, when Joe Montana was winning 4, all anyone talked about was John Elway and Dan Marino. Why? Montana was never supposed to be anything. Okay? But Marino and Elway, they were high prospects. And they had all that PR and all the attention from college that followed them into the NFL. And even Dan Marino shouldn't have fallen that all the way into the 20s. I can't remember exactly what pick he was. I think it's like 25th or something around there. But he shouldn't even fallen that far if it wasn't for Don Shula starting a rumor that Dan Marino was a pothead. Yeah. It's so he would fall to Miami. So people bought into it, and that caused Marino to tumble. It's why the Jets picked Ken O'Brien instead of Dan Marino. But so it worked. But it didn't get them a Super Bowl, but it worked. But that stigma follows Tom, and because that's what people look at. People can't understand when they're seeing something that defies what their basic knowledge is and what their basic expectations are and what they're comfortable with. Oh, well, I've seen that guy in college, so he's great. So I get why he's great, but I've never heard of this guy. Why is he playing so well? Well, then it must be cheating. It must be rigged. It must be, something's going on. It doesn't make sense because their brain explodes because it's not normal. It's not what they're used to. And Tom is going to deal with this forever. And there's always going to be these questions. And that right there is why people sit there and say, Super Bowl 51 was rigged. If that was Peyton who did that, everyone would be like, oh, okay, well, that's Peyton Manning, though. That's supposed to happen, right? It's supposed to happen. So, cool. They just can't deal with it. And the same thing, history repeats itself. Nobody gave a damn about Montana compared to Marino and Elway. Again, I'm not saying nobody didn't give a damn about Montana, but I'll be honest. Listen, I lived through it, okay? Joe was not fully appreciated until later. Joe was not fully appreciated until there was a retrospective to look back on, wow, look what he done here. But, and again, let's not go to extremes. I'm not saying that Joe wasn't appreciated, but he was not at the level as far as getting attention as Marino was and Elway. When I was a kid, we'd play all kinds of football, flag football, tackle football. Actually, no. Flag football didn't come along till later. I mean, they probably had it, I'm sure, but I don't remember playing it. We just played tackle football, but at the time. But Pee Wee football, which I think in the city you guys call it Pop Warner or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Oh, wait, that's a summer league. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But anyway, we played all kinds of football, and anytime you pretended you were a certain player, all the kids would always say, "I'm Dan Marino," or John Elway. That's the two names that everyone would. No one ever said I'm Joe Montana. They've always got the hype train, and it's just always the same story. If you guys remember back, let's see, 2000. So yeah, Tom won in 2001. He won in 03 and 04. Was it even until 07? Oh, the crazy 07 where Tom was actually really getting considered by the average fan as an elite quarterback. It took him that long, 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, until someone and the people, I'm talking everybody in general, like a regular household, would say, "Oh yeah, that's Tom Brady." No, I mean, people still, kissed Peyton Manning's ass. So, and Brett Favre, of course. Brett Favre was very popular at the time. Of course, that was a holdover from the 90s. So, and now we've got the situation, same thing right now. So, it's just how it goes. You just talk about the same guys over and over again. They're going to talk about the same dudes. They're going to talk about the first round picks differently than they're going to talk about anybody who's, 3rd through 7th round. Sometimes even second rounders don't get any respect. But that first round, that's a magical thing, isn't it? So. And I'll never understand that. I still, to this day, I don't get it. San Francisco or the 49ers was a very weird team, like in the sense that I don't remember anyone hating the 49ers, Nobody hated them, but they weren't hated like the Patriots are hated. It was a different thing, but it was also a different time. People were different. Americans were different. It was a time where Americans probably more so appreciated a winner. They appreciated a dynasty. They appreciated that level of excellence. But it wasn't flashy. It wasn't like, whoa, look at that. So Dan Marino had the cool hair, at the time, what was considered the cool hair. John he played in Miami. That was really, the Miami Vice show was popular. All that crap. Dan Marino was always seen with the girls, and it's just like that. He had that whole image, and and John Elway, he was a high level prospect. He was both a baseball and football prospect, and he was a really big deal coming out of the draft. So that stuck with him, even though he was losing so much. And it was Montana who was making those guys look bad. But Joe wasn't flashy. Okay, Joe did it with precision and with just excellence. Just the way Brady is. It was just a weird thing. But we saw it repeat itself. So yeah, Tom did want to be like Joe, and it happened the same thing. And I think Tom will be more respected later. I think it will happen later. So, I mean, of course he's respected now, but I think he'll be more appreciated after he retires. People seem to not hate players as much when they're not playing anymore, when they're not active. Something happens. So, like I even see Patriots fans who are not as harsh towards Eli, now that Eli's retired. So they used to hate Eli's guts. Now, I'm not saying that they still don't. Just saying that you see Patriots fans be a little less aggressive towards Eli. Did I miss anything while I was talking? Oh yeah, Ozymandias, absolutely. Yeah, he asked both of us if we're familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect. Same skill set that makes you great at something is the same skills needed to judge others' ability. See It Twice says, wasn't athletic, didn't throw it 80 yards downfield, skinny build, nothing about him looked impressive on a physical level, and people can't fathom it. They can't, if they see Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes has been so hyped, if they see Patrick Mahomes do something like Super Bowl 51, well, Patrick, of course, would be doing it by throwing it downfield and getting big plays. That would be if he were to come back like that, that would have been the style that you would probably see that in, although it wouldn't have worked against that Falcons team, but you get the point. So people would be like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense to them. They've been conditioned to believe that Patrick Mahomes is a miracle worker, right? But if you guys remember watching Super Bowl 51 in the moment, okay, so don't picture it as you've watched the replay. I've watched the replay 1,000 times, and I know you guys have. Take yourself back to that time, that day that you're watching it in the moment. And nothing really fancy happened, right? Like nothing. I mean, Tom went for a few big plays. They were incompletions. It's just, you look up and all of a sudden, like, holy crap, we might tie this thing, And it was just hard to process, even for people who know Tom and know the Patriots game and how they are. And so imagine people who hate Brady and who don't like the Patriots. Imagine how they're processing that. How did they come back? The only way possible is that there was cheating involved, or that it was rigged, or the NFL wanted it to happen. That's the only thing their mind can process. Michael McDermott says, no one who wasn't a San Francisco fan. Right, exactly. And yeah, but nobody hated Joe. I just want to make that clear, okay, for you guys who didn't grow up in that era. Nobody hated Joe, okay? Joe was very liked. It was like, oh, Joe Montana? Oh, yeah, I like him. It was like that, He wasn't hated like Brady's hated. But Montana wasn't anybody's, go-to guy unless you lived in California or if you're from the area. So. Captain Forever says, I'm a few years younger than you. When I was growing up, I liked Montana more because he had his own Sega game. I absolutely remember that game, Joe Montana Football. Yes. He says, I'm from Philly, so Ace Ventura made me dislike Marino. Oh, that's funny. What a way to go at Marino. That I like that. Ray Finkel. Milena, I've got to show you that movie. Have you ever seen it, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective? Okay, so you know it's in Miami, right? Okay, well Dan Marino is in there. Is in the movie. But yeah, it's pretty good. Although I've never laughed as hard as I did in the second one, where Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, is stuck in a robot rhinoceros, and it's so hot that he can't breathe. And the reason I found that so funny is because that is exactly what it's like getting inside a car in Phoenix, Arizona during the summertime. Identical. Michael, Mac Jones being talked down by national media, you know exactly why. You know exactly why. He's a Patriot. He's not going to get, yeah. And he's not doing anything exceptional, as far as what they see on the stat sheet. He's not doing what Mahomes and those guys like that do, and he's not out there just going crazy numbers and things like that. So It's also they just pick a guy, and for whatever reasons, they have these guys that come and they get drafted, and they anoint them. They anoint them, and it just goes from there. And no matter what you do, you can do no wrong. Well, you can do no wrong unless you don't get the COVID shot. But other than that, you can do no wrong. And then there's the guys who, no matter what they do, they're never going to get respect. Even Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was not anointed. He's not the guy that he did not get the same kind of attention as Michael Vick. And the reason I'm comparing them to Michael Vick is because they have a similar style. And Michael was heavily promoted, and Lamar is not. And so I guess we could kind of look into why that is and why, how they pick and choose who they go with. I think it could also be the player themselves and their personality and how they are. Oh yeah, copycat. Yeah, that Brady scramble. Wasn't that awesome? Wasn't that cool seeing Tom get up and, his little first down thing? So. Elliot, the email address is monownsports@icloud.com. Also, I don't know if you guys like MMA or not, but I've been helping out on a documentary about John Jones and about the GOAT of MMA. So I don't know when that's going to be out, but you guys might be interested in that too. It's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, Salman, regarding Brady getting drafted so late, it's interesting, right? Because he was playing for a big school, and, if you followed college football, I'll be honest, I did not know who he was. But I didn't follow college. So I don't pay attention. Historically, I've never paid attention to you until you're drafted. And then, or actually up until the draft, and I kind of look at you. But Tom would not have been on my radar back then. So I don't know exactly what they would have, what their analysis was at the time, but it was trendy to have the mobile quarterback thing. So Steve Young and Brett Favre, they had this very chaotic style, and they were winning MVPs off of it in the 90s. And it kind of seemed the way football was kind of headed. And they were thinking maybe this is the new thing. So, the NFL, they copy everything. They see one thing and then they try to do it, and they all start doing the same thing. You guys remember the Wildcat fiasco, right? So they all jumped on that, and then they started drafting mobile quarterbacks in the early 2000s, and they just kind of went from there. And I think maybe that thinking process, I know for a fact it was San Francisco's thinking process. The reason the 49ers drafted Giovanni Carmazzi is because they thought he was a Steve Young type. So they were trying to replicate the whole Steve Young style. And Tom is definitely not that, right? So that was their thinking process. And if you go back and look, there are several quarterbacks in that draft, the Brady Six, that were either mobile or somewhat mobile, definitely more mobile than Tom. And you can see that was kind of the target for a lot of teams back then. So I think that's probably the best explanation for why he got overlooked, because Michigan is a huge school. Okay, it's a huge school, and he went out with that Orange Bowl victory against the Alabama Crimson Tide. So. But like I said in the episode 2 of the Brady Hate Saga, he didn't have hype. He didn't have hype coming behind him, and the owners don't like anyone who doesn't have hype. They want that, and they also know they're thinking of it as well from ticket selling standpoint and merchandise standpoint, that if you got a quarterback with a lot of hype, if he can't play, unfortunately, in that unfortunate situation, if he can't play, you've at least got his name and you can market off that for a little bit. How long remains to be seen, right? But you can market somewhat off of it. So they kind of go with the safe play. It's like the music industry. They could go out and sign, bands with good music and good songwriting and thoughtful stuff, but no, they go with what they think will sell, and it's just cookie cutter bullshit that you hear on the radio all the time. Or the movie industry. So the movie industry could start making movies that actually had some thought into them, and you got to put some work into them, and they're actually good quality things. But no, all we ever get is Marvel movies and comic book movies or whatever the hell it is. And that's all you ever see anymore. The days of Hollywood producing interesting popcorn movies like Independence Day. Independence Day is a guilty pleasure, right? It's a popcorn flick. It's a summer blockbuster, but it's a good movie. It's fun. It's exciting. When it came out, it was like we had never seen anything like that before. The way they blew up the White House and all that. So even you could have both. You can have the thing that will sell, but also make it good. But now everybody is thinking in terms of safe. And with the draft, these owners are no different. They're thinking safe. This guy's a name. Who is he? If I was looking at the draft picks from this year, I would have taken those quarterbacks in different orders. But they wanted, you've also got the fan base to contend with. If the Jaguars don't take Trevor Lawrence, for example, the fan base is probably going to be pretty pissed off. But if you do sign him, then you're going to sell merchandise like crazy, and then you hope that he turns out to be pretty good. There you go. So. Yeah, Michael, Brady's passing is like a bunch of body blows. They add up over the course of a game. Absolutely. And, that's one thing the Chiefs didn't understand in the Super Bowl against the Bucs is that, yeah, they were down, but change your game. I know that's their thinking. They have to bomb it on every play, but they kept doing that. And the more they did it, the worse it got. It's like the hole kept getting deeper and deeper, and they didn't seem to understand to change the game, change the way you play, change the style. So, and even if they didn't win, they would have at least probably made it a little more respectable. So. Copycat. Oh, yeah, that's right. Copycat's in South Africa. That is awesome. My God, man, what time is it over there? Oh, I guess it's probably close. It was close to Bulgaria's time, isn't it? Bruce Arians doesn't do mental MMA, mental PB and J, maybe. I like that. Yeah, yeah, Captain Forever. Yeah, Bill or the Patriots had Tom third. early fourth round, but that never works out. It never works out. So where you target a guy in the draft, because of how nothing's ever going to go the way you expect it. You say, okay, these are the guys that I think I'm going to pick them. I have them ranked at a second or third or fourth rounder. And you don't end up picking them until the sixth or seventh because it just doesn't work like that. And you end up seeing guys on the board. So when you're in the sixth or seventh round, you see a guy, oh, I had him written as a third round, fourth round talent. You feel like you've got a good deal. And that's kind of how it happens. Oh man, Ozymandias. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It would depend on what coaches are available and what coaches would want that job. Nothing you can do right now mid-season, but and also at the same time, there's no way Bruce Arians is leaving that job while Tom Brady is still playing. He's getting free wins on his resume, on his legacy. He's getting a free ride, man. So he's not going to give that up. Actually, see it twice. I don't think Eric Bieniemy is going to be is head coach material. I think it's very clear that is the Andy Reid show. And when that's the case, it almost never works out right. You need to see a coordinator that has got a lot of control, got a lot of input, and that usually works out better. But I mean, you never know, but I just don't see it. I think people are going to hire him thinking they're getting Andy Reid. They're going to get the Chiefs' explosive offense, and they're going to get all that. And people, again, they don't understand, these owners, they don't get that you need all the other stuff. It's like when they sign McDaniels or Charlie Weiss and different guys, even though Charlie actually went to Notre Dame, but still they're expecting that Patriot thing. And okay, well, do you have those players? Do you have Tom Brady? Do you have the clout to make that work? And it doesn't work out. That's unfortunately. So coaching's weird anyway. You never really know for sure with them. So, but most longtime head coaches, not all, but longtime good head coaches had a very, very deep background. And you go take a list of who you think are the top 10 coaches in the league. Top 10 coaches in the league who consistently, not a guy who's just coaching well this year, but I'm talking about like over a 10-year top 10 span, and they've got like a lot of years behind them. And go look at their resume, and you'll see, look who they worked with, look who they worked under. It's just like a very long list of dues being paid. I think Josh McDaniels now, if he gets a second chance, he'll probably do better. I think he'll do a lot better. He wasn't ready back then. He took it too soon. But I think now Josh could probably do okay. As long as he doesn't do the same thing he did in Denver, which is try to be Belichick. You got your exceptions like Mike Tomlin. Let's see, Mike Tomlin didn't have much of a resume when he became the Steelers head coach. Mike Tomlin won that head coaching job in the interview. It wasn't resume at all. It was interview. And he nailed the interview. And hey, but not everybody has that kind of personality. Not everybody has his charisma and the way he approaches things. So they need that. They need that those credentials. I mean, could you imagine Andy Reid in the job interview process? I need a hamburger. I need some barbecue chicken. I need a Philly cheesesteak. The whole time, I mean, my God. That doesn't exactly give you confidence. So you got to look at his resume and go, okay, well, he may have a heart attack from eating too much red meat. He may pass out and die on the sidelines, but look at his resume. Right? Yeah, Captain Forever. Yeah, Todd Bowles. Right now, I would be willing to get rid of Arians and just hand over the head coaching, like the figurehead overall coaching job to Todd Bowles. Just get Arians out of the way completely. That'd be nice. So, we haven't seen what Todd Bowles can do as head coach. Nobody can coach the Jets. Nobody. It's the Jets. And Todd Bowles probably wasn't ready. He probably took it too soon. So, but I think now he probably knows what to do, what not to do. So, yeah, I'd like to see what he does a second time around. Oh man, yeah. So Elliot just sent a $2 super chat. He said, "I feel like Jim Harbaugh would be a good choice. That would be really interesting. Could you imagine Jim Harbaugh coaching the Bucs? That would be fun. That would be something to see." So. Oh, that's right. I actually have it saved to my desktop. And just want to say, although if you're in the Eastern time zone, happy anniversary! The butt fumble. On this day, 9 glorious years ago, was the butt fumble. The butt fumble. Butt fumble. The butt fumble. I love it. November 22nd. It's actually very it's a very messed up day as well. But we're not going to talk about that day. We're going to talk about the butt fumble. But thank you, Vince Wilfork, for giving us the gift that keeps on giving. Do you remember watching that, Milena? It was when we had the chair like right here up against the TV, like right here in this area where I'm at right now, and we had the dinner table like right next to it, to the chair there. And I was standing up in the chair and I go, "Oh my God, did he just fumble with his ass?" It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Never forget. Never forget. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's glorious. But anyway, getting back to we were talking about Jim Harbaugh, right? Yeah, Elliot. I don't know how he would do. Like, I don't know. That'd be interesting. And he's been out of the NFL for a while. The NFL is a little different now. Not that different, but he's going to have to get up to speed because he's got a very bad temper and he's very aggressive. And these players cannot handle this anymore. I don't think. Even Belichick's had to tone it down a bit. These players are weak-minded, and I'm pretty sure Jim is kind of crazy. So, but it would be fun to watch. I'll tell you that. All right. Yeah, I know it's late for you guys, like 1 a.m. In the morning over in the Eastern time. But I want to see you guys here on Saturday night. We have a big show planned, and this week, So I've been working on videos all last week. I'm almost done with several actually. So I hope to have them out in the next few days, hopefully. So, and also we got some new. Check this out. So you guys remember the artist we have, Sophie? We had her on the show when I was in Bulgaria one time, but she just sent me some new pictures of Kurt Warner. She did 4 drawings, but this is just, isn't this just fantastic? Isn't that cool? I just love that. That is so cool looking. I think even Kurt Warner would appreciate this. But she's fantastic. She's got me, she's done 12 already, and she's done Bill Belichick. I think you guys will like the Belichick. But he's the only coach that she did. Everybody else are quarterbacks because it's for the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But, yeah. That's the most recent one I got. And she did Warren Moon. Warren Moon's fantastic too. I love it. So, but I can't wait to get that series out. But that series is an off-season series, when we're not doing a lot. Nothing's really going on. So. Awesome. Thank you, Christopher. I'll definitely tell her. Arian, see it twice, says Arians has a better shot at couch of the year. Oh, Nefertiti celebrating 12 months of membership says happy butt fumble day. Very good. Good job. Now, is it true? Do you only get to use that sticker once a week or once a month?
I'm not sure. I just got the
Oh, okay. I'm curious. Oh, nice. All right. Well, quick shout out to the Pats. Once again, I know I posted it yesterday, but thank you, Buffalo, for crapping the bed and not being able to handle the moment where you could stay in the lead. How pathetic are you? So, Buffalo, you suck. Titans, what the hell with the Titans? The Titans lose to the Houston Texans. If that doesn't prove my, my mantra that division games are just difficult and unpredictable, I don't know what would prove it if that doesn't prove it. So the whole concept of, the Patriots had an easy division all these years. Screw you. Division games are not easy. I don't care how bad the team is. So Christopher Cameron Brate needs to focus, man. He needs to focus. So he's a good player. He shouldn't be out there like that, dropping things like that. And again, they all do it. And a lot of players in the NFL do it. Don't forget, Man in the Arena, excellent first episode. Featured Drew Bledsoe quite a bit. I just really, I don't know if you guys saw the episode or not, but I just really, wow. I mean, I knew the story. We all know the story about Drew Bledsoe and how Tom took over for Drew, but man, you can just, if you watch that, it's, you feel sorry for Drew. I mean, it's, you feel bad for him, like it had to be done, and we know why. We know the history, of course, now, but it's very difficult, situation for him. And like, how do you celebrate that Super Bowl and at the same time, like, keep a smile on your face, but also not feel like crap almost, because that was his team. That it's what he worked for, for a decade. And yeah, it's just, I don't see how he handled it as well as he did, actually. So you could tell like it was painful just to smile, but at the same time, he didn't want to be a douche, he didn't want to come off like that. if you're new here, please like and subscribe. And if you're interested, you can join the membership, which I just posted. And I pinned to the top of the chat there. And also, do we want to schedule a new membership Senate meeting? It's where so we all kind of get together. It's a private meeting. Nobody else is invited. We want to get that scheduled soon because I think it's been a month or almost a month since our last one. So. Man in the Arena, the episode 2 comes out tomorrow. My only problem with it is that it's on ESPN Plus, and I just wish Tom wasn't helping ESPN make money. That's unfortunate. But who knows, what was all involved with that. So how things like that work. But anyway. Yeah, Ozymandias, that's actually a part of a new series we're working on where we do the whole, the what if situation. And Drew Bledsoe definitely is on that list. So there's just so much I want to do and so much I'm trying to get done at the same time while doing other, responsibilities and things I have. I wish I had a staff. That would be great. Like all these big channels, they have people who work for them and stuff, and it'd be nice if I could just bust out stuff much faster. But thanks, Phil. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Let's hope the Patriots can keep the lead in the AFC East, and that the Bucs can start playing better than they are. A win's a win, of course. That's great, but you gotta start getting hot now. So, and win on the road, for Christ's sakes. My God. All right, thank you guys so much, and I will see you soon.
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to Von Allen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go.
Von Allen Sports.